Welcome back. Today we'll be hearing a pep talk from our fearless leader, Vlad Tenev. Perfect for a red day like today. We're your hosts, Eddie and Britt. This is the 24-Hour Show.
Three, two, one. We are live.
Back at it again.
Before we get started, make sure you guys hit subscribe, press like, let us know what content you guys like. Welcome back, especially to all the Hood retail shareholders.
Shout out to you.
We need to band together today more than ever. We woke up with giant red candles, man. Wow, it's been crazy.
It's been a painful week in the markets. I can't deny it. I mean, we've all been asking for these dips, honestly. So take advantage of it. Of course, you always buy the dip.
Buy the dip like you always said you would.
Exactly.
Buy the dip like you always said you would. So we're going to get into two interviews today. As you know, we always share Vlad interviews. We're always... that's like
on the hunt for him, for some content from him.
And he is always providing new content with independent podcasters, with streamers,
retail analysts.
And then, of course, with traditional news guys like Jim Cramer and stuff.
Institutions.
So today I feel like we got this Jim Cramer one and we got a Bloomberg one. It was a two interview deal today, but we needed it more than ever.
We really did. We gave back all of our earnings rally, so we're back sub earnings. But
if you were feeling any regret while it was running up, were you feeling any regret?
I was gonna say, but some people were speculating that it's overpriced right now. I don't think that it is overpriced. I don't feel that way. I feel like we are investing into the future right now, and this is a trailblazing company. But if it ran up a little too quickly, markets get scared. That makes sense. A pullback is healthy, and it's time for people that have been speculating to jump in. I think this is a good time.
Yeah, I'm like watching these go down. I'm buying more, and one, I'm just remembering like, yo, you were excited when this hit 44 back in the day. If it's hitting 44 now and you thought it ran away, you should just kind of buy some more. So I bought a couple $1,000s more worth of Hood today.
Deploy capital.
And we have to, steady lads, deploying more capital. We're gonna watch these two interviews today. Hopefully Vlad has something that rallies the market. As you see, it was about, I think it was a little more than 2% in after hours today. Let's go check a look at that.
What are we at?
47.20. That's almost 3%. Almost 3% on the after hours.
We'll take it. What did we close at today? Like 46.
Well, right there. Well, $4 less than what that was. So.
Oh, we closed at 43 something. Wow.
Yeah, so
rough day in the markets, but that's okay. We're here to rally, and we have our fearless leader here with us.
Okay, yeah, we can't let Britt do public math, by the way, because this never goes well. But let's get into these interviews, and we'll give you guys some takes after. Maybe pause some of them if we have any serious stuff to mention. But let's see what they have for us. All right.
I know CEOs don't often look at the short-term moves in a company's stock, but what's your message for investors on a day like today?
Well, I mean, if you look at what has actually happened in Robinhood world, we reported earnings just a week and a half ago, and we had our first $1 billion revenue quarter in the company's history. The business has been doing tremendously well. I mean, record net income, profits, record net deposits. 2024, we had $50 billion of net deposits into the platform. So business is doing well. And if you look back, rewind to the day after earnings, I think the stock had a very positive reaction. So I think that's why, to your point, we don't really try to look at the stuff day to day, because then we get wrapped up into the macro and things that are outside of our control. But we're executing. Some days it'll go up, some days it'll go down.
Speaking of going down, we are looking at a market right now. The Magnificent Seven, as tracked by Bloomberg, is actually in correction territory.
Yeah.
How are your clients, the people trading on Robinhood, behaving on a day like today when you have Bitcoin also down below 87,000?
Yeah, generally speaking, when we see days like today, our customers tend to be long innovation, and they're long some of these technology names, and they view these as buying opportunities because, I mean, another way of looking at it is you can get high quality companies and assets at a discount relative to where they were in previous days. I think our customers, which might surprise some people, have a long-term perspective on these things. They'd like to be owners of technology and innovation.
Isn't volatility, though, just a good thing for your platform? Sort of doesn't matter if it goes up or down, especially with the launch of the new active trader platform, Robinhood Legend, just a few months ago?
Yeah, what you're saying is right. Active traders tend to be more sophisticated, and for those types of customers, they have trading strategies that they can deploy regardless of market conditions. So when markets are going up, you know, obviously they have a set of strategies. When they're going down and sideways among different derivatives and even equity and option and crypto positions, active.
Know when you're trading, know when you're investing.
Absolutely. And know how to make money when the market, like you said, is sideways, up, down, whatever we're doing, always be making money.
Have the tools. And you know, we announced Robinhood Legend at our Hood Summit, which was our event in Miami. We rolled that out over the last couple months. You guys probably saw that's already up to 50 million in annual revenue run rate. So that product's been doing extremely well. And yeah, kind of what might surprise a lot of people, active trading is more of it's a business that is more sustainable even in downturns, because the more sophisticated customers are, the more they sort of trade regardless of what's happening in the macro, and they deploy different strategies to take advantage of opportunities as they see them.
Vlad, I understand that you're maybe not concerned about a one-day move in your stock, but as the CEO of Robinhood, you have more people actively trading, as we're talking about. The VIX is at 20, right? To the extent there's one market metric that you watch when you wake up in the morning, what would that be?
Yeah, I mean, I really try not to watch the market myself too much. I mean, I'm aware of, I think it's hard to ignore some of these things, but what I'm focused on is how well are we supporting customers, what's the rate of product velocity, because, you know, the rate of product innovation and velocity is, at the end of the day, what matters. It's what matters in the economy, and it's what matters in our business, because day to day things go up and down, but over the long run, we're in a technology business. So all that matters is the rate of innovation and the rate of positive technological change. And I think we feel pretty good. I mean, you look at what we've rolled out, what we've delivered to customers, what we're continuing to do this year with 3 major product events coming. And we're going to continue to diversify the business.
Let's double down on one of those products, cryptocurrencies. Of course, this is the crypto show. What is the grand opportunity for Robinhood? You have sell-side analysts taking a look at what you're doing and starting to compare you to Coinbase. Are you after their business?
No comparison.
Well, I think we compete in the general sense of offering crypto to customers, but also this is a nascent industry, and not very many companies have entered yet. It's still, even though Bitcoin has now been around for 15 years, institutions and other companies have been waiting for signals to enter the market. So from that sense, it's still quite early. And I wrote about in an op-ed that I did for the Washington Post, we're still in the US generally not allowed to connect crypto technology to real assets like stocks and other securities.
Hang tight on that. We're going to spend like 10 minutes with you on tokenization next.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, before we get there, though, I do want to touch on the news yesterday. Robinhood said yesterday the SEC closed that investigation into your crypto operations. It's not pursuing any enforcement action. It does raise the question, though, about regulators in general. Do you see a role for financial regulators?
If you guys want to watch a video on us beating up the SEC,
Link in comments.
we already posted it.
I do see a role for financial regulators. I think customers want to know that their assets are safe and that someone is watching over the companies that are providing financial services to them and holding them accountable. And we've been a regulated company for a very long time. You know, we started as a FINRA and SEC regulated broker dealer and expanded from there. So I actually think regulation is good for our business, not just good for customers, and we know how to operate in a highly regulated arena.
And Vlad, you spoke to us a couple weeks ago about the potential for tokenization.
I love that he makes that point because people are running with that right now on X, on Twitter. Regulation is good for crypto. It's good for the business. It's good for longevity. If you want to be a pioneer, if you want to be taken serious, you need regulation. So him mentioning that and him saying, hey, we're not looking for no regulation at all. We actually want that, and it's good for our business. That's where you want to put your energy.
And in our episode where we mentioned the golden flywheel, you can go back into our YouTube and find that video.
A lot of info.
We did mention a different flywheel as well that happens with gold, which with product development, and they basically lean on regulation as a strength. So it's like in the U.S. markets, we got to do this 24-hour innovation, fractionalized shares, commission-free trading, blah, blah, and then they can instantly go deploy that overseas when they enter a new market, and then vice versa. United States has all this regulation on crypto, but overseas, Robinhood can deliver these products to, figure out what's good, and then by the time our regulation opens it up for Robinhood, they'll have the technology, the strategy, blah, 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 to deploy it over here instantly, and it's just a flywheel where they're not waiting to be allowed into a market.
Absolutely.
They're leaning on regulation in different jurisdictions and innovating for those markets so that when we're expanding globally, as soon as something's available, they can copy and pasta over there. So.
And it is really easy to implement that because of blockchain tech and because of crypto technologies, which is why operation expenses continue to remain very low.
Yeah, so let's we can finish this though. Good points.
You were talking about that op-ed you wrote in the Washington Post, and a day like today I was watching, NVIDIA down almost 2%. You know what's probably not down 2%? SpaceX's private stock, right? You made this point that it was ludicrous that investors could buy meme coins without really prohibiting it from the regulators, but you cannot get access to private stock. How soon can you buy SpaceX on Robinhood?
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know if they're about to address this, but I just want to say it's cool that she said that because when you think of them trying to protect investors, well, one, we're getting left out of a lot of very life-changing companies, but the second base of that was that the price isn't changing and you can't sell it. That could be good for you too, in times like this where stuff's down, the average trader or the uneducated investor is selling and locking in losses and stuff like that. But when you're in these private companies, you can disclose all this information, you can put it in there, and you don't have the option to just take your liquidity out because the market's doing bad, because the market's not ever doing bad. If you believed in the company and no one is buying that price, it's so different in the private markets.
The market does correct itself, and like you said, an unseasoned investor maybe will not know that, be aware of that. So I love that she did bring that up. We're taking more steps to bringing access to the regular retail investor versus the accredited investor.
You have to find those advantages too, to say, hey, this doesn't hurt the retail investor, this helps them. They're not locking in losses because it's a private company with no liquidation yet.
And when we're talking about locking in losses, that a stock price can fluctuate. You don't lose until you sell.
You don't lose until you sell. You don't lose until you sell. That's right. All right. So don't lose, don't sell.
That's a good question. We need a few things to happen in order for this to be possible. The accreditation rules have to be rethought. I think a lot of these rules.
So wait, is she opening up? She basically just opened up Vlad to say, when are you, not even tokenization, when are you going to be doing crowdfunding on here? When are you going to allow the things that equities then allows? XAI, SpaceX, if you can allow access to that on this Robinhood app, that goes into what I believe are the markets. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Robinhood markets, boom, you can put that one right under that umbrella and it fits perfect.
I love how all of these themes have the underlying mission to democratize finance for all.
Always, yeah. And I feel like him as an entrepreneur, he wouldn't even be innovating in this space if he didn't see tremendous upside for finances specifically. So I just feel like there's all kinds of tools we haven't even grasped. prediction markets are obviously on there. You got the futures, so you got these derivatives. You can add the crowdfunding or whatever, like fund. You can do some REITs like Fundrise, or you can do like Kickstarter stuff like crowdfunding.
Yeah, they said we heard today that real estate will be coming to Robinhood in the future. So we'll have to see how that plays out.
I wonder where we heard that.
Were created in a different time where the problem was lack of information. You know, it was before the internet, there was no information. So the regulators, I think rightly, were worried about investors not having any knowledge about these companies. I think now with basically an infinite amount of information on the internet, AI that can help you distill it and synthesize it, a lot of those concerns just don't make sense. So I think that's why the rules have to be rethought. I think they were put in for good reasons, but those reasons no longer hold. And then we need to, aside from the accreditation, allow for the capability of connecting crypto technology with real companies. So comprehensive registration rules, platforms, clarity for how platforms can list, platforms such as ourselves listing crypto securities. I think all of that is going to be
Tied
necessary.
to the private stock.
Yeah, I've seen you argue that it's good for investors because then they get access to a company such as OpenAI or SpaceX, but also good for these companies because then they get access to that capital. What would you say to somebody who's watching or listening right now who says, wait a second, for every Anthropic or OpenAI or SpaceX, there's a Theranos out there, there's a WeWork out there, and these accreditation rules are supposed to protect the investors who are not venture capitalists, those investors who don't have the ability to do that due diligence on those private companies?
Yeah, I think there's ways. Those are legitimate problems that have solutions. I think we can solve those problems through disclosure requirements. In particular, if you're a platform that's offering these securities, whether they be crypto-based or otherwise, you should have disclosure requirements. You should clearly delineate between, a company like SpaceX that perhaps has high quality audited financials and something that's earlier stage that doesn't. And I think at the end of the day, the user should have the ability to decide and self-certify and actually, the platforms can clarify what type of risk different assets and which buckets fall into.
When you say SpaceX or OpenAI, you're talking about single companies, and you're talking about companies you can imagine being public one day, maybe just trading more in private hands until then, or maybe indefinitely. But there are a lot of financial firms that are looking to tokenize private funds also.
Yeah.
Are you in talks with any of them? I mean, this is Apollo, it's BlackRock, it's everybody, really, hoping to make these private equity funds available to retail investors.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've been talking to, you should assume we're generally in conversations with anyone trying to do interesting things in the space. I think what we have to decide is what's interesting to retail. And right now, if I had to pick the biggest pain point that a retail investor has, we're in the midst of perhaps the biggest technological revolution that we've ever seen. AI is like transforming everything. And what can you invest in? I mean, NVIDIA and to some degree Tesla, but no OpenAI, no Anthropic, all these companies that are doing humanoid robots, a lot of them are private. So I think it's tough right now if you want to be in the AI sector as a retail investor. There's relatively few options that you can actually invest in.
You said you're talking to anyone who's doing interesting stuff in the space right now. What about on the regulation side? Are you talking to folks actively in the Trump administration who are working on crypto, who are working on AI?
Right, who have given you some indication of how soon you can get this done?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that when we talk to folks in the administration, everyone's really motivated to make the U.S. the leader in this industry. There's these two technological shifts that are happening, crypto and AI, and they're happening simultaneously.
Have you been able to speak with David Sachs?
I have, yeah. I've known him for a while. I think I'm excited about David Sachs coming in, and actually, if you saw our investor day, crypto and AI are the two technology trends that we believe will shape Robinhood's future and the future of the financial industry. So actually seeing that the government is aligning itself with these trends and making sure that the U.S. is number one, I think it'll help us. It'll help the companies like Robinhood that are trying to be on the leading edge of these industries.
You know, I appreciate your note there on regulation having its place, because more recently, a lot of people in the crypto industry very excited about a pullback. And while you can understand that the way the last couple of years have gone, you have seen this exuberance that has pushed many, many retail investors into very many meme coins. You have seen an acknowledgement here that listing standards might start to loosen up. What do you make of the meme coin frenzy that probably doesn't look that good to many people today?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is a new thing. I think the use cases of different types of coins are yet to be discovered. People are innovating very fast in the space. But two things. One, the fact that it's so easy to create a coin and tap into global liquidity and actually like the creation process. You know, you can sit down in front of some software, create a coin, and have it be trading and, you know, access to investors in 5 minutes. That's a scary thing, but it's also an incredibly powerful thing if you juxtapose it with how cumbersome the IPO process is. And it takes months, companies aren't doing it. And that's why I think tokenization is so interesting, because if you juxtapose these things, it's so clear what the benefits would be of bringing crypto technology, in particular, these like the ease of listing and tapping global liquidity into real world productive assets.
You said that you want Robinhood to be the place where customers can buy, sell, trade any financial asset or conduct any financial transaction. What is your ultimate vision here? I mean, is this going to be a place where people could buy and sell real estate one day?
I think so. I think whatever a customer wants to invest in, and there actually is an overlap with real estate between assets that you actually utilize and are also investments. And a lot of our customers are interested in that. So yeah, every asset that's investable, and even some assets that you'd like to hold in physical form, are all in scope of the vision.
Hey, before we let you go, want to hear a little bit about the new startup, newish, Harmonic, that you co-founded back in 2023. You're looking to build the world's most advanced reasoning engine. You're also executive chairman there. How do you divide your time right now?
Well, so I'm chairman, which is a board role, and I'd say I'm much more involved than a typical angel investment. But there's an amazing CEO and a great team at Harmonic that are operating day to day, and they let me help them out and hang out from time to time. But I'm not operating like I am at Robinhood.
Mathematical superintelligence, so I hear very complicated things going on for.
I think solving a real problem. I mean, the models need to. Right now, the models are very confident about spewing wrong information, and in a lot of domains like financial services and even news media, those hallucinations can be pretty.
Look, I'm good. I only really want to hear about.
Well, just to touch on that new venture, I think that is amazing that he's going to be working on Harmonic AI, because there is a need for very in-depth mathematical problems that these LLMs will just hallucinate and give you whatever answer they feel like that day.
Yeah, I hope Robinhood gets a nice little, I don't know, maybe that as a future merge, maybe there's some good collaboration in between those companies. But financial LLMs or math LLMs with advisories or AI advisory, we for sure, and for those that don't know, we are most definitely getting an advisory this year. Like, it's for sure. I read it in the 10K. It's for sure happening. So this year,
that rollout is coming soon.
Yeah, advisory's coming, and this interview right here, just in particular to the tokenization of things, he said real estate. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I'm thinking it has to be more than REITs. I'm thinking that it'll be a fundrise concept where we can collectively own commercial real estate, things that are very risky that you don't want the burden to be on yourself, but you still want to have access to ownership.
Basically, we can do like our own synergies in there probably. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it would be cool just to crowdfund any project with a public company in general.
I was just thinking when he was talking about tokenizing RWAs, Eddie and I were looking into a teak tree investment half a decade ago, and it was quite a contribution and commitment, it would be amazing if we could fractionalize that and own that.
Yeah, when they said real estate,
30 other people.
Yeah, it was already when they said real estate, I was like, oh wow, real estate, even though it's a separate asset class and it's a physical asset class from like crypto and tokenization, when you combine them, you still see fractionalization. You still see like 24-hour type of trading. Like you could still get benefits out of traditional assets. So.
Yeah, he also mentioned commodities that you can touch and feel, physical commodities. So I'm thinking
and smell.
maybe Robinhood will be like money metals market, or you can order your gold, you can order your silver, and it will be shipped straight to your house.
Oh, that would be sick. Markets for everything, because Vlad will be the king of the markets.
You know, X, earlier this year, Elon made a statement that he wants X to be the everything app. You
can't invest
everything
on
you
that.
need to do. And I firmly believe that Robinhood will be the everything investing app. I do see that happening in the near future.
Okay, oops. Let me see if I can play this for us. All right, so we got the Jim Cramer one. I believe Vlad's... From what I heard, there was a rumor that they said, yo, Vlad, do not go on the Jim Cramer one. I think it's time, though. We've kind of hit that... We hit that point in our hood journey where we've kind of hit all the lows. It's like, bring it on, bro. If you're going to have an interview with Jim Cramer and we get some inverse, I'm ready now because we've been red. So inverse me now.
Yeah,
so,
honestly.
Now's
the time.
We'll go ahead and play this for you guys. Jim Cramer, obviously a big fan of Robinhood as of recently, this year, I believe. Maybe the end of last year he got involved. But whatever. I know he had him on the lightning round, so let's go ahead and check this one out real quick, and then we'll share some thoughts after.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, first I want to congratulate you. There have been tough times. You went right through them. You have created a beloved institution. And I know you're even speaking to regular Robinhood investors because that's what you do. But just tell us about the journey, because it wasn't all done in fair weather.
Yeah, it's been hard, and I feel like we've gone through the cycle multiple times. You talked to me and Beju when we were getting started,
right
before we had 1 million customers.
Right.
And then I remember we came on your show when we had 10 million customers. Right. Back then, everyone was kind of...
Hold up, pause. I do want to add, there was one that I seen from a while back when they were a much younger company, and a guy calls in and he calls Jim Cramer and he says, "Hey, buddy, I want to call about ticker HOOD, blah 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 blah," and then Jim Cramer, without even taking a breath or anything, and I think Hood was trading around $11 or something. Without a breath, he's just like, "Nope, don't think they're good. Think they got too many options and what else?" He's like, options and Bitcoin for customers. So
if Jim Cramer floods you in the beginning of your startup, I mean,
bullish.
That's bullish as can be.
But he said that, and then he immediately goes, "Yo, I suggest you sign up for Schwab." But it's like, behind him is the Mad Money poster, advertiser is Schwab trading, blah, blah, blah. So it's like these money managers, you can't really give them everything because...
and that's why retail analysts are so important, because these guys have connections. They're having the steak dinners. They have
literally the advertisements behind him. He's like, nah, not Hood. Go to Charles Schwab. And what has happened since then? I mean,
now they're trying to replicate Hood on their heels.
Even with our recent decrease, I think we're at like, I don't know, 5x or something. So let's finish this though. But I just want to add that on, that like, next week Jim Cramer could change his whole mind up on this.
For us, and then we went through a period where we had the inevitable sort of like negative attention. We did some things that we learned from, and then things have become more positive. But now I feel like a grizzled veteran. I got my beard.
You should feel that way.
Being public for a while. Robinhood's more than 10 years old. So I have the perspective and hopefully the wisdom of someone that's gone through ups and downs. So, I wish the stock would go up every day.
Right. Well,
I'm sure we all do. But I think with over the long term, we've done very well. And we're just at the beginning.
You sure have. Now, Vlad, one thing I have to tell you, when I meet young investors, and I speak to a great number of them, I am always saying, why are you always with Robinhood? And they always say, because it's easy. Now, easy actually means that you're designed in a way that is intuitive. You have a terrific site. You have multiple sites. You seem to be have an engineer's approach to this. and it works.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I'm a former engineer, mathematician. We got into this business.
You know what's funny? Go ahead. If you want to talk, let me switch the camera angle for you. So you got this.
No, I was just gonna say I love that Jim Cramer says that because Robinhood, where it is intuitively designed. It is the best app for you to maybe not know what you're doing and to get on there and say, "This is a beautiful user experience.
They
it's a
teach
beautiful
you
user
too.
interface."
They give you like warnings on like
The
when you're about to make your trade.
guardrails, the explaining, they're paying you to learn as well. You can take, earn $3 learning about Bitcoin, earn, $3 learning all of this stuff. They're educating you. So not only are they making it easy and visual and intuitive for you to use the app, they are also teaching you while you're learning how to intuitively use it.
Yeah, it's a big part of the golden flywheel that we talk about where it's the first part of the golden flywheel. I guess the funnel, you go in and you sign up for a brokerage for whatever reason. Maybe you wanted the free stock. Maybe your homie Britt is on X fucking talking about it all the time. So you sign up for Robinhood and you realize like, oh, I've never invested before. But like she said, there's there's a personalized investing. And then the intuitive part reminds me of like when you give like a 2-year-old an iPad or a phone and they know where to press, they know how to click. They all of a sudden are playing games on the app or on the phone and you didn't even have to teach them anything. That's kind of where Robinhood takes that. It's like you went in there for a free stock or you went in there for the 2%, 1% deposit, 2% on 401ks, 3% on Roth IRAs. You went in for whatever the perk was and you stayed for more value. And it's that intuitiveness that allows more products to be adopted faster than any other platform I've seen. Like when I'm on a platform and they start, hey, get this, do this, I'm like, what the hell? I'm here for one reason. So Robinhood, when they offer something, I want to try it almost immediately, even if I'm not, just as a curiosity, like just as a novice investor, I'm like, hey, I love to invest and I love to see the new tools and I love to see the new perks. And it's just a never-ending flywheel.
Just to make one last point on that, it's intuitive for people who are not even tech or iPhone savvy. My mother, she cannot use her iPhone. She can't even search for apps in the search bar. She surely knows how to use her Robinhood app.
Yeah, she knows. She definitely knows how, and she's gotten her experience with meme coins too, which I think is
she got gifted some Doge from Hood.
Yeah, and I don't think it's all as degenerate as people make it out to think, because it is at the simplest form. Just like Vlad was saying at the Bloomberg interview, it's at the simplest form. It is innovative technology.
Absolutely, and to demonize it with meme coins and gambling is not fair, because the juxtaposition is instant access anywhere in the world, crowdfunding,
global liquidity.
It's amazing.
Boom.
So pinning those meme coins and stuff. Also, yes, some people do lose a lot of money on meme coins. Some people make so much money. So you can't deny that both happen at the same time. Let's get back into it.
Yeah, I think more people lose money though, but
through algorithmic trading, which is interesting. Now we're in the NYSE, right? And algorithmic trading disrupted institutional. And really what Robinhood did was we brought that technology to retail in the form of zero commissions and great technology. And I think that's still what's the ethos of the company, using technology and engineering to apply that to financial services.
And people have stuck with you. Yes, sure, there was the turmoil when the GameStop, whatever, but you've now got you've got people who've been with you for some time, and you're even getting to the point where you're doing terrific deals on RIAs and IRAs. You bought an outfit, Trade PMR. That would have been something that 10 years ago I never would have thought you would have done.
Yeah, I mean, the long-term goal is for us to be the place where any customer globally can buy, sell, or hold any financial asset or conduct any financial transaction. So we started with trading, but you mentioned there's 84 to 86 trillion being handed down to younger generations. We think we can be the place where that wealth goes. And I don't think anyone's actually seriously tackling this problem with technology.
No, just you. And I've seen your site. Obviously, everyone wants to show me the site, what you're doing. I mean, just for futures, which are so hard to actually visualize. You found a way to visualize trading in futures.
Yeah, I think that futures just launched a couple months ago. It's already, a business that is growing quite nicely. Index options as well launched. That's at 15 million, north of 15 million run
Your
rate.
dashboard is
Robinhood Legend.
It's incredible because
Yeah.
again, it's intuitive. And is that you just have engineers who know how to visualize what people want? They come to you, like you met with individuals today. What do they want?
Yeah. I think it's a combination of having a few different types of people. People that are industry experts like Steve Quirk, JB McKenzie, who really understand the active trader, large part because they're active traders themselves.
Right.
So they really, really care about these products and are passionate about it themselves. And amazing product managers, engineers, folks on the legal and compliance side, product designers. I think we have really the best at every position. So
Now, speaking of
I'm lucky to
legal
work with such
compliance,
great
well,
people.
SEC investigation closed. Move on, right?
Yeah, I think that it's nice to not have to play as much defense. I mean, frankly, in the last administration, we're playing a lot of defense.
Right.
There was an all-out assault on not just crypto, but individual retail trading in general with market structure proposals, predictive data analytics, which is basically an assault on AI and financial services. So now, we're fortunate to have an administration that wants the U.S. to be number one in AI and financial services and crypto.
How far can you stretch it though, Vlad? I mean, prediction markets, elections, sports gambling, there's great synergy, okay? And by the way, since they've legalized gambling, I like to talk about DFS, daily fantasy, because it's portfolio management. But how far can you really go before the government says, wait, that's too far?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. We're a markets company.
Right.
Robinhood Markets it's in our name, and I believe in prediction markets. I think prediction markets are the future of trading. They're also the future of information. So I think there's certain differences between doing that even in sports and like traditional sports books. For example, there's no line being set by the platform. Buyers and sellers are meeting, so there's price discovery, and that is actually what gives you a signal into what the actual probabilities of these events occurring are. So I think that prediction markets are going to be a bigger and bigger thing across all events. And of course, there's lots of market participants. There's people that speculate. There's folks that are using it to hedge, like any market. And I think Robinhood can serve all of them.
I was concerned and told you that, wow, so many people do options and so much do crypto. I'm afraid that there isn't staying power, but that was wrong. There is tremendous staying power, and there's big institutions now that use some of your option product.
Yeah.
I just said that. Wait, I just said that too. I said, he said that they had too many options and too much access to Bitcoin. So he said crypto, but right now he literally just addressed that and said, I said this, but I was...
words. I like that. Jim Cramer, he says a lot of things that are so out there, but then he can always walk them back too. He can say, I was wrong, and I appreciate that about him.
Yeah, that was nice. Okay, let's get back to it.
When you look at, and we've made a lot of advances on options. We rolled out index options, which, as you probably know, has been one of the fastest growing sectors. If you want to, make a trade and take advantage of movements across an entire market or sector, index options and futures allow you to do that. And I think our take on it is customers, we want to be number one at the active trader market. Customers want to trade these products. Institutions obviously use them. And we think by and large, any assets that's available to institutions should have a path for retail to use it as well. But again, not everyone is a speculator and not everyone wants to actively trade options. Those that do, we should have a path to allow them to do it. But of course, we have suitability checks, all sorts of requirements that you have to go through to become an options trader.
Everybody wants 3% match on their IRA.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about what we're incentivizing as a platform, what's the thing that we're incentivizing to come over? It's the retirement accounts. And that's been a very successful product.
Hold on. We just made a whole video on retirement, so make sure you go check that out. It's the ultimate retirement account, and we talk about this 3% match that Jim Cramer's talking about. Everybody wants it, and just to let you guys know, 45 grand on the table. Just don't even ask any more questions. It's 45 grand. It's in there. Okay, so just go watch that video. You'll find out how to get your 45 extra grand up in there. All right.
We'll actually give you a 3% match on contributions on retirement and gold accounts. And, we've done several matches, including one where if you bring over a whole account, you get 2% on your retirement.
So you're telling me if I have, let's say, a lot of stocks and money in an IRA somewhere else, and I bring it over to you, I can actually get 2% return on that money for doing nothing other than opening an account with you.
If you have, $10 million, that's 200,000 in match.
Yo, I'm not even just gonna say it right here too. They somehow get around it where all you guys who are trying to like max out the retirement accounts, you're on your fucking fire movement stuff. We mentioned in the last video that this is an extra 3% on top of your already limit. It's not capped at 7,000 for your Robinhood account. You can get an extra $210 by using Robinhood just with that 3%. It's like a little magic secret.
Little backdoor.
You can afford that?
Well, yeah, what we've seen is we measure, obviously, this is part of being an engineering company. We measure the ROI of these matches, and we've ran lots of them over time. Some of them work out for us, some of them don't, but the ones that don't, we've stopped doing, and the ones that do, we keep doing over and over again.
You have a card, the Robinhood, the gold card.
Yeah.
It has many advantages. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so 2 things. Best rewards on the market, 3% cash back on all categories, and the best user experience. And I've showed it to you. You've seen it.
Yeah.
You can create virtual cards, which allow you to, it's great for security if you don't want to share your card number. Also, if you want to have a different card for a restaurant reservation, for free trials, it gives you the power to do that. And it's our first product built for the whole family. I think that's going to be a bigger thing for us going forward. Like products that become better, the more family members you put on it. Like, why is it worse for you when you have your family on using the same brokerage? It's certainly not better, but I think that's a big part of this multi-generational opportunity. If Robinhood can become better for you, if your kids are on it, your spouse is on it, your parents, then, when there is an inheritance event, it's the natural choice.
Absolutely.
Right now, 70% of people fire their parents' advisor and move on to a new platform. So I think there's a huge opportunity. I think a lot of the incumbents have been sleeping on it, frankly.
Well, I have to tell you, I'm so proud of you. I know that I remember when you started, and it was something that I said, geez, maybe this is going to get a lot of people in and democratize. And you know what? You've succeeded more than anyone else I have met in my life in democratizing stocks. Thank you.
Well, thank you. You started it all in popularizing this, and I think we've got a long way to go. We've got to do it all over the world, and of course, Robinhood itself is going to expand from retail to business and institutional.
Not worried. I think you'll do it. Not worried at all. That's Vlad Tenev, co-founder.
Yo, he
That
killed
was
that.
a banger. I absolutely love that interview. That when I said that was a little pep talk for a red day, I meant it because that fired me up. I feel really good about that.
Jim Cramer let him talk about every product too.
It was like a little reunion as well.
Yeah, because he's always ends up back on Jim Cramer. But like he said, Jim, he made a lot of this fun too. Like that was the most fun show before all this crazy social media, meme stock, Wall Street bet stuff. It was like
his energy is unmatched.
Yeah, and even if you were trading inverse Kramer, which is opposite of whatever he says, he's still a respected OG, and so just a good moment for Vlad to take a victory lap. He said Vlad has democratized finance more than anybody he's ever met. Shout out Baju Bat as well. The just co-founders together of Robinhood. Man, they've given us fractional, commission-free, everything else is just a cherry on top, and they could have honestly left the company just like that, but
revolutionary.
Yeah, Vlad decided he wants to keep innovating. He sees more, and like I said, he would not be an entrepreneur in the financial sector if he didn't see where this could go. Obviously, he sees tremendous innovation, and he's going to do it at Robinhood. So, man, if he ever left, I'm out. I'm out. Selling it all.
But I love that point that Jim Cramer touched on at the end, that 70% of millennials will be firing their wealth managers. And we've gone through that already, and it seems like a lot of these brokerages and these money managers have taken for granted that investors are paying for their salary, paying for their entire lifestyle, and kind of become
right now they're in squeeze mode. Basically, they don't want to conform. They could easily switch it off and be like, oh, look, let's all go commission free. Let's all do. But no, they're still taking advantage of the older generation who have money.
And it's disgusting.
it's not good. I'll tell you
And
that.
you know, you have some fund managers who are not executing trades or executing at the speed that their customer would like because it does not benefit them. Actually, this is my money. I don't care if it benefits you. Are you going to move it the way I want you to the best of my suitability, to my desires, or what's going to make you money? And unfortunately, some people of the older generation feel like they're doing a service by continuing to pay fees and pay for salaries for money managers who are taking their income for granted.
If you even just look up what a 1% expense over an investing career is, it's millions of dollars. It's not
Take
little,
a look at
it's
your
not
statements.
baby.
Look at the fees. Look, like, literally get your printouts. If you have the email only, ask them to mail it to you. Look at what you're losing and see if you're ready to pivot to Robinhood.
And then they make it very easy. Like they said, they're gonna like move to the family situation where everyone's already on there. It's easy to just pass the inheritance. They're gonna bridge that. Right now, they've actually partnered with like marketplace rollover marketplaces that can help transition your 401ks, your Roths, your retirements, whatever. It can get it into the Robinhood app, and it's actually very, very easy. And I'm sure it's only going to get easier as everything keeps snowballing, because as we take our money and put it into Robinhood, our nieces and nephews and our kids in our family, our niece nephews, they'll actually be able to inherit it through a Robinhood account instead of having
Beneficiaries,
to go.
easy transfer.
And honestly, I'm just like, I'm looking forward to maybe they acquire a rollover marketplace, but as of now, it was just a good pep talk to get Vlad on here. Talk about how nothing has changed. We're still growing.
Number go up, number go down. We continue to innovate at Robinhood. And that's what we want to hear. We are in it for the long run. We're not trading. We're not, just trying to make it quick. We're long on hood.
Protect Vlad. A good chunk of my net worth is in that man's hands.
That's right.
Make sure you guys subscribe. Go ahead and follow us. And
Ed Money's Brady's Bliss on X. Go ahead and if you'd like to see something specific, hit us up, leave a comment, and let us know what you'd like to see on the next episode.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye.